We're back now in the Hampton Roadshow kitchen with Chef Hans from Waypoint Seafood and Grill. And you know what? It's oyster season, and we've been making some oysters lately here on the show. And today we are doing that once again. He's making a tasty dish perfect for oyster season: Virginia scalloped oysters.
Yes, and it is oyster season, and I started sort of like a little bit of the vegetable sweating. What we have here is some onions, garlic, and some celery. We sweat that very lightly in butter.
In butter, so kind
that
of
it's sauteing it so that it gets translucent. And then we start adding little by little our additional seasonings, ingredients. And what we have here is some lemon zest.
Lemon zest.
We continue with the lemon juice.
So far, so good.
We're adding a little white wine. Bring those liquids to a simmer here so that that alcohol aroma evaporates.
So Chef Hans, do you like oyster season? You like cooking oysters?
Oh, I love cooking oysters, and oyster stew needs to be probably on every holiday table. It's very simple to make.
Right, and so when you say scalloped oysters, what exactly is this dish? How would you describe it?
Scalloped oysters is a layered dish where we have a pan here. First you butter the bottom, layer the oysters in, and then sort of like top it with the mixture.
Okay.
And then top it up with some crumbs, which are consisting of panko, Ritz crackers, and Parmesan cheese.
Sounds good.
And that sort of like provides the crunchiness for the dish.
Nice. All right. So
and observes a little bit
this.
of the moisture. We let in that sweat a little bit. You know, we're adding some Tabasco sauce.
Oh, we've got to have a little bit of that spice in there.
Some Worcestershire. Seasoning, salt and pepper. So
how's life over there at the Waypoint?
Waypoint life is terrific. It is beginning to go into our 4th year, and it's been very successful. And of course, we're featuring seafood, and we're very proud to feature Virginia oysters from Tommy Leggett out of the York River.
You have several different, I guess, oyster dishes on the menu or on special for this time of year?
Yes. Scalloped oysters is one of the dishes. We have a famous Waypoint oyster, which is a baked oyster, a raw oyster layered with Virginia ham, sauteed spinach,
oh, that sounds
crab
good
meat,
too.
and then you top it off with a little hollandaise sauce.
Oh,
so
nice.
Absolutely phenomenal dish. So the next visit, you have to try that.
Can you just get raw oysters on the half shell over there at Waypoint too?
Yes, yes, yes.
How do you like your oysters best?
Baked.
Baked oysters. Yeah, that sounds good right now. All right, so we're adding some...
we're adding some heavy cream.
Okay. That's just to get it thickened up.
Thickened up a little bit. We reduce that a little bit. And then we're adding some of the oyster juice, which we have from our strained oysters. Again, we reduce this very nicely. And in the meantime, we take a little bit of butter.
It's just melted
and
butter.
coating our
pan where we're going to start layering
baking
over
pan,
here.
right? Now you can probably do a couple things. You can add a little bit of the, excuse me, a little bit. You can sprinkle a little bit of that on the bottom if you wish,
put some of the,
just
the
to observe some of the moisture.
Okay.
Okay. And now we're taking our oysters. Just basically arrange them on the bottom.
So you can, I'm guessing you can put as much or as little as you want.
This you want to.
No
Look at those beautiful plump oysters here, and they're looking good. Here we get a little shot on those nice oysters.
So everybody coming into Waypoint this time of year, they're sure to order different oyster dishes, huh?
That's just one of our top sellers. And of course, every Thursday we have Dollar Oyster Night.
Oh my goodness, that must be a
during
popular
that
night.
oyster night, we have Tommy Leggett, who is also our supplier, appears on the bar and chats with our guests, and he really talks up the oyster. It's such a very special occasion. Okay, now we have our mixture ready.
All right. And are you just going to pour that on top?
Just spoon that over the top.
So is this like an appetizer dish that you would share? Or?
It would be on the holiday table a side dish. We have it currently on the menu as an appetizer to share.
What do you eat it with? Is it fine just by itself, or do you need to pair it with something?
Fine by itself, or with your turkey dinner. You have, of course, the oyster stuffing with that. You can use that.
And then we're
Just
gonna be doing some
basically
stuffing in the next segment.
take some crackers and just dip into it, and that's also very
Like a dip.
Yeah.
It looks fabulous. All right, and then we're going to sprinkle the crumb mixture again. That's
Yeah.
panko, Ritz crackers. What
Panko
else?
Ritz crackers.
Is that it? Was there
Yep.
something else?
Panko Parmesan cheese.
Oh, Parmesan
And
cheese.
Ritz crackers. And I like to leave the Ritz crackers a little bit coarser. You can put that into a food processor, but you know, really, I like to leave them a little coarse so
It's a
that
little
they have
bit
a little
texture,
crunchiness, pieces in there. And
I can help with this.
yeah,
We're
you
going to
can
garnish it with.
sprinkle a little bit of that. But first, we're going to have to add some more of the goodness to it, which
Some
is
more
the
goodness.
which is the butter.
Okay, more butter. All right, so
Okay.
we're going to butter it up, and then we're going to garnish. Next segment, we will be back with Chef Kyle, and he'll be doing some more oysters with some cornbread,
All right.
stuffing. It's feeling very holiday in here for oyster
Okay,
season.
so this is it now.
All right,
And
and
it-
we'll let you put that on there.
At first we would bake that,
Okay.
and then we
And then-
finish it up with
Okay.
that when we finish, okay?
Sounds good. All right, so we'll be back to check in with them on the next segment.
All right.
We're back now in the Hampton Roads Show kitchen with Kyle Woodruff, Chef de Cuisine from Waypoint Seafood and Grill. He's making a tasty dish for oyster season. So what do you call this, Kyle?
Yeah, well, this is going to be Virginia oyster and cornbread dressing. This is something that I grew up around here right off the York River, so it was really easy to make that transition of putting oysters into your dressing that you would have for a side dish on the table.
All right,
so
it's a
I
nice little comforting dish, you know,
Getting ready
definitely for the fall season and fits right in with oyster season. So we're starting off, we've got some celery, some onions.
Yeah, a little bit of garlic, some leeks in there.
Okay.
The next thing we're going to do is we're going to hit it with a little bit of white wine.
We're using a lot of wine in the kitchen
Yeah,
today.
watch out. We got a little bit of brandy going in.
Brandy as well, wine and brandy.
Yeah,
Getting
so
the
we're
weekend started right.
We're going to let that go. And then we've got some cornbread.
Cornbread.
Yeah, this is actually, day-old cornbread. You know,
Okay.
after you've made it for a day, just let it, chop it up, dice it up, and let it dry out. This will kind of give you that coarse texture versus if you were to go to the store and buy like a Pepperidge Farm.
Okay, so
type
we're just
deal.
going to,
So we're going to
our
put this in the
day-old
mixing bowl.
cornbread, put it in the mixing bowl.
Yep, and then we've also got some diced bread, which will help absorb
Just regular
some of the,
white bread.
Yep, take the crust off of it, and there you go.
Okay.
I've got some whipped eggs. We're going to add our eggs in there.
Now, why do you love cooking with oysters?
It's something I grew up with. Like I said, I grew up in New Kent County, which was right along the York River, going back and forth up
You
to
guys
Gloucester.
are losing the racetrack over there, the horse racetrack. You're not a fan.
So we got a little bit of the oyster liquor, basically that juice that we saved from the oysters.
Okay.
And then what I did is with my dressing, I don't put the whole oysters in there. I chop them up a little bit so that way everybody gets a little bit and people don't fight over them. Because if you put whole oysters in there, people will pick them out.
They'll be like picking out just the oysters. That's why you got to spread it around. Let everybody get some oyster love.
Spread the love. A little bit of salt,
That was a little bit.
a little bit of pepper,
Okay.
a little bit of Old Bay.
Heavy-handed over here, Kyle.
Well, you got all that bread in there,
Right.
so you got to
it's gonna
season all that as
absorb and
well.
season.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's true.
Some fresh thyme from the garden out back at the restaurant, some parsley. We're going to add in this mixture here, which is going to be the onions, the celery, the leeks, and the.
So is this stuffing,
garlic.
is this something that's available on the menu?
This is something that we don't do on the menu right now. This is something we save in our back pocket for the holiday season.
Okay, so maybe
So-
coming up. But
Yep.
but as Chef Hans was saying earlier, you guys have quite a few different
Oh, yeah.
oyster options if you
Yeah.
want to go in there to Waypoint.
Absolutely. We've got our raw oysters, steamed oysters, fried oysters, the baked waypoints, the scalloped. I mean, there's so many different
Really,
options
what's your
there.
favorite?
Actually, the Waypoint oysters are one of my top favorite. I love the scalloped oysters, things like that. So,
Okay.
The other thing in here, if you want, how are you with Virginia pork?
I'm all about it.
All about the pork. So we've got some Edwards pepper bacon that we rendered out here. We're going to throw all that in there with the bacon fat,
With the grease.
with the grease. Got a little bit of smoked sausage here.
Oh, we're adding, so this is a little twist because I asked him. I said, "What are you going to do with that sausage?" So you'll see.
You'll
It's
see.
Extra. So
Now, some people would probably I don't know, maybe not necessarily agree
So
with
this
me.
is like a very hearty stuffing. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's not just some light little side. Because you've got the bacon, you have the sausage,
Oh yeah.
you have the cornbread. That's probably going to give it a little extra
A
filling.
little bit of extra fillingness,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then the trick here is you've got all this liquid in here, so you want to add just a little bit of cream in there to kind of bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to add too much and basically turn this into like a pureed mess. You want to keep the chunks.
Keep
want
the
to
chunks.
You want to
You
have
don't want
it
it to all
coarse.
break up so
Yeah.
you can see the different. All right, and so once you get done mixing, then what comes next?
What comes next? We've got our little bowl right here. Real simple. We're going to put it in our bowl. Make sure we get all those oysters in there, all that cornbread, bacon, sausage, the whole works.
Wow,
We're
so this
gonna,
has a lot of flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely packed with a lot of flavor in this one.
Absolutely. We're going to take this guy, we're going to wrap it in tin foil and bake it in the oven. We want to wrap it with the aluminum foil first because we want this stuff to steam. We want it to be nice and soft.
Okay.
And then if you're a crispy
Then you
stuffed
can take it
dressing
off.
person, yep, you can take it off.
Finish it that way.
Yep.
All
But,
right.
but yeah, that's
Very
pretty
good,
much
very
it.
good. Waypoint Seafood and Grill. I am impressed. We've had Chef Hans here today, Chef Kyle. They're at 1480 Quarter Path Road in Williamsburg. They're open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday and Sunday brunch as well. WaypointGrill.com. They've got oysters however you want it. They're going to have more oyster dishes coming up as the holidays come a little bit closer. Give them a call at 220-2228. Thanks so much for being here, Kyle.
awesome. Thank you, ma'am.